Good morning, students. Today we are going discussing the topic of the human reproduction. The human reproduction. So we know that reproduction. What is the definition of reproduction? Reproduction. So here the producing of animals, producing of animals of their same kind is called as a reproduction. So here that means here we producing of a same type of species are producing. Example, if you take a place, a cat will produce cats, dogs will produce dogs. Likewise, the humans will produce the humans only. So here the same type of species are producing. Then we can say as a reproduction. Here the same kind is very important. Why means here producing of animals means we cannot say as a reproduction. Why means here the cats will not produce the dogs cannot produce cats. Likewise here the cats will produce the cats only, dogs will produce the dogs only. So same type of species will producing the same kind of species are producing. So here it is called as a reproduction. So here in a reproduction, we know that it is one of an important characteristic feature of living organisms. Why it is a very important characteristic feature means here it helpful for the continuity of a species. Here it shows the continuity of a species from generation to a generation. So here it plays a very important role in a living organism. Why means here without a reproduction, here the species continuity will not be taken place. So the species should transfer from a generation to generation. That means to continue their race or a family history. If you take a family history, they continue their race from generation to a generation. And here compulsory, here it requires the process called as a reproduction. So here it is we can call as a physiological process where compulsory it is needed. Why means at the end of their lifespan, each species will having a lifespan will be presenting. So at the end of their lifespan, here the species have to continue their species. That means for generation to generation they have to produce. So when they producing the species from generation to generation, here the species will go continuously will goes of their race. So that here reproduction is one of an important characteristic feature taken place in a living organism. Now coming to the human reproduction. So here human reproduction, humans, already we know that the humans are a sexually reproducing organism. These are a sexually reproducing organism, and also will show that viviparous, and also shows that the sexual dimorphism. So here humans are sexually reproducing. Sexually reproducing means here the gametes are presenting. reproduction. So here humans shows the sexual reproduction having the gametes are presenting. The gametes which are presenting, these gametes are produced from the gonads. These are produced from the gonads. Gonads are, we can call them as sex organs. Sex organs are primary sex organs also. From the sex organs, here it helpful for producing of the sex cells are presenting. The sex cells we can call them as gametes. So in the presence of gametes, here young ones are produced in the male containing the male gametes, the female containing the female gametes. Here male gametes we can call as the sperms. So sperms are the male gametes, a male, and a female gametes are the egg or ova. Egg or ova or ovum. So here these are the where we are having these sperms and eggs are the gametes. So here in the presence of gametes, the reproduction will be taken place. So humans we can call as the sexually reproducing organisms. And second one, viviparous. Here humans shows viviparous. Viviparous means here directly they produce young ones. If directly they produce young ones, directly if they produce an young ones are called as viviparous. That means directly they are producing young ones after fertilization. Here in humans the fertilization is internal fertilization. When internal fertilization is taken place, that is development is taken place inside the uterus region or in the uterus or womb of the mother. Here in the womb of the mother or uterus, here the development is taken place after 9 months. After 9 months, that is 270 days. After 270 days, here the deliberation of a baby is taken place. So directly we are able to producing an young ones, so that we can call them as viviparous. And also the third one, here it shows the sexual dimorphism. Here it shows that the sexual dimorphism. Here third one will show that the sexual dimorphism. Here what is the sexual dimorphism means? By seeing external characters. By seeing an external characters. By seeing external characters, we can identify the male and the female. We can identify the male and female, so that we can call this as the sexual dimorphism. So it means by seeing external characters, the male and female, we can easily identify. So we can see that in humans it shows a clear picture of a sexual dimorphism. By seeing external characters, we can differentiate which is a male organism and which is a female organism. So the differentiating of a male and female by seeing an external characters, so we can call this as the sexual dimorphism. This sexual dimorphism we can see firstly we can see in an husky helminths. Husky helminths, or we can use them as nematodes. In this nematodes, we can see as firstly we can see as the sexual dimorphism. Example, we can take a place as an ascaris. where here we can see the ascaris by seeing a male and a females. The males are very short in structure and here does not show skulls, but in females they are longer in structure and shows a curve in nature, so that with the help of these external characters we can easily differentiate the male and a female an organism, so that we can call as a sexual dimorphism. And also here when we do the sexual dimorphism, humans will show that a dioecious organism, that is male, both male and female are, they are separately, the gametes are separately, they are presenting, so that we can call this as a dioecious organisms. Next, coming to the basic phases of physiology of reproduction. Here in this there are different basic physiology, that is basic concepts are presenting. So we can call them as basic physiology of reproduction. So in this firstly we can say as first one we can call as gametogenesis. And second one is called as insemination. And the third one we can call as the fertilization to the blastocyst. Fourth one is fertilization. Fourth one is cleavage. Fifth one egasculation. And the sixth one will show that an implantation. Later will show that an organogenesis, or we can use morphogenesis. And the eighth one will show that the placentation, and lastly will show that the parturition. So these are the several sequential steps where it takes place in a basic physiology of reproduction. That is one we can call as gametogenesis, second one we can call as insemination, third one fertilization, fourth one cleavage, fifth one gastrulation, and sixth one implantation, organogenesis, a placentation, and lastly we can call as a parturition. So these are the several sequential steps where it takes place in an human reproductive system. So here it shows the basic phases of reproduction. Good morning, students. Today we are going introducing the topic. Last class we have introduced the human reproduction. Today we are going the phases of physiology of human reproduction. So in this there are first one is we can call as a gametogenesis. So here gametogenesis means in the name only indicating gamete plus genesis. That means genesis means producing. The producing of gametes from a primary sex organs, or we can call them as the gonads. So here gametogenesis means the producing of the gametes, from primary sex organs, or we can call them as gonads. So this this process we can call as a gametogenesis, or otherwise we can be defined as the involvements or involves the formation of the haploid, the sex cells or gametes called the sperms and ova from a diploid, a primary germ cells or sex organs called as gametogonia. Here both gametogonias we can call as the primary sex organs, or we can call them as the gonads. From these we are producing the gametes are producing. So this process we can call as a gametogenesis. So here this gametogenesis example we can take place in males, the testes, and in females we can call as the ovaries. So the testes are the gonads or primary sex organs where they produce the gametes in the form of the sperms. So here the sperms are called as the gametes. So here like in the ovaries in the females, here we can call as the ovaries. Here ovaries they produce the egg. The egg are the ovum. So here the ovum or egg we can call as the gametes, and the ovaries we can call as the gonads, or we can call as the primary sex organs. So here the primary sex organs or the gonads which are presently they are in a diploid number. They are in a diploid number, and the gametes which are produced they are in the haploid number. They are in a haploid number. So this haploid from the diploid gametogonia or primary sex organ or gonads, here we are producing the gametes are producing. So here how they are produced means by undergoing a meiosis division, by undergoing a meiotic division, or we can call as meiosis division. Here it is reducing the division, it makes the chromosome number into a half. So that from diploid to the haploid it is producing. So here by undergoing a meiotic division we are able to producing the gametes. So this process we can call as a gametogenesis. This gametogenesis is classified into two types. One we can call as a spermatogenesis, and second one we can call as a oogenesis. So here the spermatogenesis means the formation of haploid sperms from the diploid spermatogonia, or we can call this as spermatogonia, we can call as a gonads or a primary sex organ. From the gonads or primary sex organ, that is spermatogonia, we can be able to produce the sperms which are in a haploid number. So this process we can call as a spermatogenesis. And the second one, the oogenesis. Who means egg. Genesis means producing. Producing of egg or ovum from the oogonia. Diploid oogonia. From diploid oogonia, the egg or ovum is producing of the female. So this process we can call as a gametogenesis. So these are the two types. One is we can call as spermatogenesis, and second one is called as oogenesis. These are the two types of gametogenesis. So in later we will go in detail about the spermatogenesis as well as the oogenesis. Now coming to the second one, that is called as an insemination. Second one we can call as an insemination. So what is insemination means? Here it involves the releasing of the seminal fluid. Here releasing of seminal fluid. So here that removing of, that is releasing of the seminal fluid of the male. That means what is the male? The producing the seminal fluid, or otherwise we can call this as a semen also. So that semen which is released of the female, that is introducing, that is into the vagina of the female, they are introducing. So that seminal fluid which is released, that is entering into the vagina of the female, and what I means during a copulatory action. Here it helpful for the producing of a copulatory action. Copulator means sexual interaction is taken place. So when sexual interaction is taken place, here the semen or seminal fluid of the male, that is introducing into the female of the vagina. So this process we can call as an insemination. So later we will discuss how they are produced, how they can helpful act for the fertilization. We will discuss later. Next, coming to the third one, that is fertilization. So here what is fertilization means? The seminal fluid which is released into the vagina of the female, where here just releasing of seminal fluid into the vagina of the female, here the sperms which are entered into the vagina will move towards the egg or the ovum. So at the time at the oogenesis, here the egg or ovum is released. That at what time it is released means on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle. The 14th day of a menstrual cycle, the egg is releasing. So that egg which is released, the sperms should be reached towards the ovum to make a fertilization. So here what is fertilization means? Here it is a fusion of a male and a female gametes. A fusion of a male and a female. A male and a female gametes. So when male and female gametes are fused here, it is helpful for the formation of a diploid zygote. It forms a diploid zygote formation is taken place. So that diploid zygote, when it is taken place, means a fusion of a male and a female gametes. So when the fusion is taken place, that is gametic nucleus. The fusion of the gametic nuclei is called as a karyogamy. What is the karyogamy means? Here karyogamy. So here karyo means a nucleus. We can call as a nucleus. Gamy means a fusion. So here a fusion of two gametic nucleus. So this process we can call as a karyogamy. When karyogamy is taken place, here it is a fusion of two sets of gametes. The two sets of chromosomes. Two sets of chromosomes of two gametes. Then we can call this process we can call as an amphioxis. So here amphioxis is taken place. That means two sets of chromosomes are combining. Here two sets of chromosomes means here we know that it consists in humans will consist of 46 chromosomes are presenting. 46 chromosomes are presenting. In the 46 chromosomes in males will consist of 44 XY chromosomes, and in a female it consists of 44 plus XX will consist of 44 and XX chromosomes are produced. So in these 46 chromosomes, here it undergoing a 22 chromosomes, we can call them as anatosomes, plus here X plus Y. So here it forms into X plus Y chromosomes. So here in females, here we get a 22 autosomes plus X chromosome only. One X only means there are two X chromosomes, they are homozygous. So here it can able to producing one X chromosome is producing. So when it is formed here, when it is formed here, it can able to produce it. When it is combined with an X of the X, then X of the Y, then we get here 44 autosomes plus XY as well as XX chromosomes. So here 44, if they combine with 44 XY, here it develops into a male organism. It develops into a male organism. When it is combined with 44 XX plus XXY, XX is combined. Here it helps for the formation of it develops into a female organism. It develops into a female organism. So here this is how here the two sets of chromosomes are combined together, so that here we can able to producing a 46. Again the 46 chromosome number will be remains a constant in an organism. So here two sets, that is from the mother as well as the father. Here half of the chromosomes are produced, so that if the half of the chromosomes, that is X males, that is in males XY, here it plays very important role. Where here the males only will be helpful for deciding the factor of a male or a female organism. If father of the X is combined with the mother of the X, we can able to producing a male, female gamete is producing. If the father of the Y and the mother of the X is combined to form a male gamete. So here males are responsible for the determination of a sex, either male or a female gametes. So in later detail we will discuss in the earlier classes we will discuss. Now coming to the third one, that is the fourth one. Here fourth one. So here the fertilization. So later we will go for a fourth one, that is called as cleavage. Here cleavage means here the producing of the mitotical, what is the fertilized egg which is formed, that is we can call as a zygote. This zygote will undergo into the mitotic divisions to form a spherical ball-like structure called as a blastocyst or blastula. So in humans, the blastula in humans we can call as the blastocyst. Blastocyst. We can call as a blastocyst in mammalians. And normally we can call as a blastula, which is formed a repeated mitotic divisions to form a hollow ball-like structure. We can call as a blastocyst. So since this stage we can call as a cleavage. Next, if I will do the fifth one, that we can call as an implantation. Implantation blastocyst. Blastocyst. The blastocyst is attached, will be attached to the uterine walls of endometrium. Here, helpful for attachment of this blastocyst. When it forms, the blastocyst is attached to the uterine walls of the endometrium. Then we can call as an implantation. When implanted, that means the fertilized egg is implanted. Then only we can call as a pregnancy. If the fertilized egg may not be implanted, we cannot say as a pregnancy. We can call that as a near miss of a pregnancy. We can call as a near miss of pregnancy. That means here implantation is taken place, then only here it leads to a pregnancy. If implantation is not taken place, here a pregnancy cannot be produced, then we can call that as a near miss of a pregnancy. So this is the stage where we can call as an implantation. Next, implantation to the sixth one. Sixth one we can call as a placentation. Placentation. Here, placentation means the formation of a physiological formation of, it can be defined as the physiological process where here it is an organic connection between, it is an organic connection between fetus and the mother for the exchange of respiration and nutrition, as well as an excretion, nutrition, respiration for other purposes, and also it acts as an endocrine gland also. So here it connects between connection between the fetus and the mother, we can call as a placentation. Next, second one we can call as seventh one we can call as a gastrulation. Here gastrulation means the formation of that fertilized egg, that is a blastocyst, which is formed. The blastocyst which is attached, it develops into a gastrulation where it develops into three germ layers. So that formation of three germ layers, this process we can call as a gastrulation. Here it is called as gastrulation, is also called as a second larva also. First larva we can call a larval stage, we can call as a blastocyst, and second larval stage we can call as a gastrulation. Next, and eighth one we can call as organogenesis. Organogenesis means here organs are producing organ plus genesis. That means producing of organs. Here the producing of organs from three germ layers. So this process we can call as an organogenesis. So from organogenesis here it develops different organs are developed. So in this gestation period, organogenesis will be taken place in a gestation gestation period. Gestation period means here it takes place from development of fetus to the deliberation of baby. What is the period is taken place? In this period, here the gestation period is 270 days. In humans, the gestation period is 270 days. So from first day to the 270 days, here the three germ layers, from the three germ layers, different organs or development is taken place to form a fully developed animals. So this process we can call as an organogenesis. Next, last one. If you see the last one, that is last one we can call as parturition. Parturition. Parturition means a fully developed fully developed enzymes is helpful for the rupturing or the effluent or exit of the fully developed enzymes from the outside of the mother. Then we can call as a parturition. That means here expel. We can use the word as expelling of enzymes. Expelling of enzymes. That means coming outside of the enzymes from the womb of the mother to the outside of the mother. So this process we can call as a parturition, or we can use the word as a deliberation of a baby also. So the deliberation is taken place by the two hormones. One we can call as an oxytocin, and also here prolactin hormones. Oxytocin is helpful for the deliberation of uterine walls, the contraction of uterine walls for the enzymes to the vaginal regions. The parturition is taken place. So here this process, these are the 9 basic phases of physiology of a human reproduction, where it takes place. First one we can call as gametogenesis, and second one we can call as insemination, third one is called as fertilization, fourth one is called as cleavage, fifth one we can call as an implantation, sixth one we can call as placentation, and seventh one we can call as gastrulation, eighth one we can call as anastomogenesis, and lastly we can call as a parturition. So these are the several stages where it takes place in a human reproductive system, when from formation of gametes to the fully development of an enzymes deliberation. These are the 9 sequential steps it takes place in the human reproductive systems. So in next class we will discuss the male reproductive system.